Hello Minecraftians, you crafty Minecraftians, I am Enigmius and today we're going a little bit crazy. If you'll recall, in the last episode I showed you the blast furnaces I made and I said that I had a bunch of footage of what I did in the Nether to finish acquiring the last of the materials I needed to make the blast furnaces. Well, amidst all the Guild Wars 2 craziness, I did make time to review that footage, and what I found was that there really wasn't a whole lot that was all that interesting to watch. I had fun when I was doing it, but in terms of actually watching it after the fact, it was just me running around the ramparts of another fortress. So I did find a few minutes that were actually kind of interesting, so I'll let you take a look at that now. So this is only about a 3-minute clip, so I'm mostly just going to let you guys watch and see what happens. But those brown bricks ahead, the ones when we get close, you'll see they've got sad faces all over them. That was the material, the one material that I was missing for the blast furnace bricks. This is soul sand, and now that I've made the blast furnaces, the only other use that I have for it is so that I can plant nether wart in the overworld, because you have to plant it on soul sand or it won't grow. So I found this large deposit and got the blast furnaces made, and now I have no use for it. And these guys up here, up ahead, the monsters that are flinging fireballs at me, if you're not familiar, these are blazes, and there's actually a blaze spawner up on the platform. So yeah, I'll just let this run, and I will see you back in our nether fortress. Now that was actually done around the time that I was breaking up the reinforced glass in the bottom of the pit in the weapon testing facility. I've already showed you I switched it over to reinforced stone, and I kind of needed a break. That's why I came here, and I actually hadn't expected to find soul sand. So as part of that break, I decided after I got the soul sand that I was going to put a roof on the lower level. So I was tired of coming down the ladder all the time and the ghasts lobbing the fireballs and all that stuff. So I said, okay, I'll put a roof on this guy just so that it's contained and safe when I come down off the ladder. As I was doing a few other things in there, I kind of felt it was getting a little bit crowded. I mean, it wasn't a small space, and I took a look around and this is what I saw. So one of the great things about Minecraft is there's a problem and then we get to come up with a solution, and a solution I found. Now, it turned into one of those things where I was kind of like, well, I could do this and that'll work, but before I do that I need to do this and then I need to do that so that works and blah blah blah, and before you know it, it's gone from a simple solution to a full-on construction project, and that's what I'm going to show you now. First of all, we can take the aerial view. Yeah, that's not just... yeah, that's kind of colorful. You can see it is all closed in there now, but why all the glowy bits? Let's go take a look. So the first thing that I needed in order to implement my solution to the pigman army in my facility was power. And I decided that because I'm in the Nether and everything is lava in the Nether, that the best way to go about that, at least for the time being, would be geothermal generators. So that's what I started working on. I figured first thing I'll do is I'll set up storage for lava to power the generators, and this is the top of the lava storage tanks. You can see some of the tanks are full, some are depleted. This is very similar to how I have my quarries set up in the overworld. Instead of an item teleport pipe, these are liquid teleport pipes. These ones are receiving, so when the pumps are running that are pumping the lava, this is where the lava comes in from. And I forgot to bring more gold waterproof pipes. That's what these are, is gold waterproof pipes feeding the lava into the tanks. And I want to connect these two halves. If you look over here, they're split in the middle. So there's essentially two halves, and I've got these two different teleport pipes are on different frequencies. So one is being fed by one pump and one is being fed by the other. And I realized after I got them set up that the lava was not filling equally in both sides. So I want to connect the two halves just so that if one side is full, the stuff coming into the full side will help balance out the stuff on the other side. It's not a major deal, it's just a minor thing, but every time I think of coming here, I forget to bring the gold waterproof pipes that I made specifically for that purpose. But if we go down to the next level, we can see the full scope of the tanks, or pretty much the full scope of it. I did the math before I started recording because me plus live commentary plus math is fail. So if you look at each of these tanks, each of these tank blocks holds the equivalent of 16 buckets of lava. Each of these columns consists of 17 tank blocks, and there are a total of 26 columns, meaning that when all of these tank columns are full, I'm storing a total of just over 7,000 buckets worth of lava. That's quite a bit of lava. Then we go down here. Now these lights, as gaudy as they are, I was just messing around with different dye colors and such. They do serve a practical purpose. They're helping to transmit red power to the red power engines, which are pumping lava out of the tanks down into the geothermal generators. There's one geothermal generator for each tank column, so I've got 26 geothermal generators, and when they're all running, they're creating about the equivalent in power output as a high voltage solar array. So when all of my generators in the Nether are running, I'm actually producing more power here than I am with my solar arrays in the overworld. And I'm okay with that. I've been letting the power expansion in the overworld slide because I just haven't needed more, but eventually we'll get there. So running very, very high potential for power in the Nether. Over here we have the MFSU, just like we have in the overworld, stores up to 10 million units of power. This one obviously is full because I'm not running anything off of it right now. In the overworld, I have two of these. Right now in the Nether, I have one, which is plenty. And just like in the overworld, it's connected to an energy link, and the energy link is sending power out to my pumps. Yes, that means I will soon be setting up quarries in the Nether. I just have to make time to do it and finalize my plans for where to do it. In addition, you can see I've got the glass fiber cable branching off of that, coming out here, kind of going down, yeah, coming over here, down, and into the floor. So we're going to go and take a look at what's going on in the basement, which is the solution to the problem of the pigman army. Now, we're going to go right past this floor down here because this is the guts of it. This is where I can more easily make sense of it. Each of these blue blocks is a Tesla coil, and it's basically a weapon. When you supply power to it, it stores that power up to 5,000 EU, and then when you apply a redstone current to it, it releases that power and creates a field and basically a 4-block radius all the way around it, including through floors and walls and structures and all that other stuff. And anything standing within that field takes a fairly substantial amount of damage. So these are double insulated gold cables feeding the Tesla coils, and then obviously you can see the red alloy wire standing ready to supply the redstone current to them. In addition, this is the glass fiber cable that was coming out of the MFSU. You can see all the way up there, comes down, splits off. These are high voltage transformers, converting the high voltage from the MFSU to medium voltage, which is the most that the Tesla coils can take. So down here, that's what we've got set up, and we've got basically in this very bottom level full coverage of this area. I haven't really seen any pigmen survive when I flip it on, which we'll do shortly. These are red lamps. They look kind of pinkish now, but when they turn on, they are actually red. So actually, how many pigmen do I have down here? We have 1, 2... Get out of here, piggy. Go. Get. See, the thing about the pigmen is that they aren't particularly dangerous unless you're working around here and you accidentally clip one with your tool and then they become aggressive. But not only them, all their friends nearby become aggressive. Or one of the problems that I had is when this was all open and the ghasts were lobbing fireballs down on me, I would be swinging to try and knock the fireballs back at the ghasts, and a pigman would walk in front of me just like this guy did and get clipped. And then all of a sudden I've got the ghast plus all the pigmen mad at me. So that's why I kind of wanted to have a way to get rid of them quickly and easily without putting myself on the line in the process. So let's just flip this switch and see what happens to the pigmen. Immediately. Dead. All of them gone. Now, this is kind of a little bit of a graphical glitch. These shouldn't be transparent. They should actually look like this. And what I did, mostly for aesthetics, just kind of a little minor cool factor, is I put these on sticky pistons, and they're powered by the same switch that powers the redstone alloy wires that unleashes the power of the Tesla coils. You'll notice the Tesla coils don't have a graphical effect, which I was kind of hoping they would, but they don't, and I'm okay with it. I can live with it. But this is sort of like a safety rail that pops up down here when you flip the switch, just so, you know, it's kind of a hint, don't go beyond this point or you will get zapped too. I don't need it. I set up the system. I know where I can safely stand and where I can't, but I was just messing around with sticky pistons. When I turn off the power, it retracts back into the floor. So basically the Tesla coils that just wiped out all the pigmen down here, and I should check for their loot. I'm sorry, I'm a sucker for gold nuggets and rotten flesh. Occasionally they do drop swords and gold armor bits that I can feed into the energy condenser in the overworld for a little boost to EMC. They didn't drop a whole lot this time, but so these Tesla coils down here are also providing defensive coverage up here. You can see I managed to tag at least one pigman up here. But this, oh wow, this groove right here marks the wall below. I don't know if I can angle this to show you properly. No, I can't. This basically marks where the wall is down below. And this section here is actually a terrace that extends out over the lava. Now you can see this is one of my lava pumps. Sorry, rotten flesh. This is one of the lava pumps. This is the power teleport pipe receiving power through the wooden conductive pipe into the pump. So when these are turned on, that's what's powering them, and then they pump lava out the gold conductive pipe to the liquid teleport pipe. Now, I've just changed the frequency on the send teleport pipe in the power room upstairs. That's how I turn them off, because at the time I didn't need any more lava. Actually, a little bit later I'll go switch it on and we can see how it's working. But this is exactly the same thing over here. You can see it's going down into the lava below. So currently, because there are no Tesla coils in this area, this is a safe place for the pigmen to stand. So what I've started doing is expanding the Tesla coils. They're all eventually going to come out over this way, and I've actually got some over here that I can show you. This isn't pretty down here. I kind of think of this as a basement, so I'm not too worried about how it looks in the aesthetic sort of category. You can see I've got this big, massive, blocky piece of crap here running the red alloy wire over that will eventually be activating the Tesla coils. But you can see over here I've got some Tesla coils in place. They aren't currently receiving power from anywhere, and they don't have any red alloy wire to turn them on. So that's what I'll be doing. Not only will I be getting full coverage down here, but also I'll be able to kill all the pigmen that are standing on the roof, because that seems to be where they've started to congregate once I got the Tesla coils set up inside. This is sort of like my little observation turret. I can just poke my head up here and see what's going on the roof, and you can see we've got a bunch of pigmen hanging out over here. There's another one over here, a couple more over there. So eventually that will not be a safe place for them to hang out either. And I can also look up at my shenanigans from here. So that's the defensive setup that I've kind of put together for myself. And obviously, like I say, I've got way more power than I need just to run Tesla coils now. So in the not at all distant future, I will be setting up at least one quarry in the Nether. I know quarry 2 in the overworlds finished up. It hit bedrock, so it has been moved. Quarry 3 is not going to be too far behind it. I think it's at about 10 layers above bedrock, which the nice thing about having quarries that low is they're pulling diamonds. So I've got almost 2 full stacks of diamonds sitting in storage. So I'll just give you I've been using jetpacks a lot lately, just for the convenience factor. So I'm just gonna check for gas real quick here, and then we'll get a different view of this whole setup. Hopefully I don't get nuked in the process. So that's what the facility looks like. There's the pod where the portal is. I forgot to show you that. Uh-oh, danger. Ghasts. I started kind of completing that a little bit. I detached it from the nether rack after I depleted the glowstone that was on the ceiling there. I showed you that, that giant deposit of glowstone. So once I got that depleted, I sort of decided that I had too much space where pigmen and magma cubes were spawning, and they were coming back down around the portal. So I've closed it off, and I built a glass wall and all that stuff. So when we go back up there, which I have to do to show you the where we're going to put the quarry, you'll be able to see that. It's nothing major. It's just a smaller room than was there before. So you can see now we've got a lot of pigmen out here. And this is why I want that Tesla coil coverage on the roof. Is because, quite frankly, I like killing pigmen with the Tesla coils, and when they all spawn on the roof, it means they aren't spawning in the layers below. So I want to be able to kill these guys off, come up here, gather all their loots, and hopefully they'll respawn somewhere where I can get them a little easier. So we're going to turn on the lava. Notice the frequency when it's on. That was not intentional, it just worked out that way. I was trying to split frequencies between the overworld and the nether. Not because I have to, but because in my own mind I wanted to keep them separate, and that's where the split happened, was at 666 for the nether shenanigans. So you can see it's flowing now. Lava is flowing. You can't really see very well how much it's filling because they're so depleted. But here you can see it's kind of filling up. These guys aren't too far from being full, but if we come down here we'll get a better view. They actually fill up very, very quickly. I would guess off the top of my head, if these were completely depleted, we'd be looking at 10 to 15 minutes real time for them to fill up. So those pumps are really doing a good job. You can see this guy's coming up. These guys are filling little by little, so it doesn't take long at all. And then the whole system just kind of pulls power as it needs it from the MFSU. The generators kick in to top off the MFSU, and then they just sit there idle until they need power again. So I'm in pretty good shape for power here. But like I say, we want to take a look at where we're going to put the quarries. The long ride up, which I can accelerate with the jetpack. Alright, so this is where I decided jetpack doesn't work at this height. Also, by the way, in the nether it cuts out. But anyways, this used to be, the floor used to extend to that nether rack over there, and then climbing up here is how I would get to the glowstone deposit that was over there. So I depleted that. I broke down the temporary platform that I had to reach it, and then I just sort of detached this whole thing from the nether rack. So a much smaller area in which to have monsters spawn. So I haven't really been seeing too many monsters in here. I see the occasional pigman, but it's generally a much more peaceful place. So now I will just show you where we are going to put the quarry when we do set them up. Now I have to kind of turn the camera to the right so you can see off to the left there, just taking advantage of the aspect ratio. There is a lot of netherrack and various different chunks and bits of goodies that I can pull out from there. So that area over here, this very large area, is where I will start installing the quarries. I want them to be able to dig through as much material as possible to make it worth having them running. If I just set them up down at ground level down there, they only have about 30 layers to go through, and that's just not very interesting. And I'd spend way too much time relocating quarries for the amount of goodies that they were pulling out. So I'm happy to just set them up and let them run for a while, and over there is where I will be doing that. I haven't decided exactly what area, like what kind of dimensions I'll be setting them up to. I highly doubt I'll be doing a 64 by 64 quarry in the nether until I get a feel for how lava is going to impact things. and you can't really see it too well from here, but if you look at when the lava flashes, it's got kind of a circular thing going on here and some triangle stuff going over there. That's actually because I've depleted so much lava with my pumps that the lava surface is starting to change shape, which I thought was kind of funny. I'm actually really curious to see what the lava is going to look like after a certain amount of time in the nether with the pumps running. So that's something we can all pretend to look forward to in the future. So that's what I've been doing. Now, the difficulty that I encountered was that I have more or less fully depleted my resource of supplies in the overworld. I had a very substantial stockpile of rubber that I was saving and going to put towards solar arrays, completely gone, making the double insulated gold cable for the Tesla coils, and I need more. So my next project in the overworld is going to be the green area that I told you I was going to build, and I'm going to relocate my rubber forest to an area closer to the hive. I'm going to do some interesting things, hopefully with transposers, so that I don't have to worry too much about picking up all the little resin globs that I knock out with the electric tree tap. I'll just be able to run around, shake everything loose and have transposers suck it all up and store it for me, so it'll be quicker to gather and also way more trees providing rubber so that I don't run out quite so easily. So that's what I'll be doing next episode. It'll actually be kind of a build video. I'll be taking footage of me building the green area, and then we'll speed it up. I'll see if I can find some fun music to play along with it, and then we'll also talk a little bit about exactly how it's being set up and why. So I hope you enjoyed this tour of what is now the Nether Spire. We're definitely not done with this project, and I'll show you more of that as we expand on it. So I hope you guys are enjoying the series, and if you know anyone who likes the Minecraft videos, don't be afraid to let them know about my Minecraft videos. So thanks for watching, guys, and take care.